Be afraid. Be very, very afraid. Because that's how we make money out here in the world. Well, here we are. I decided to do a podcast here on YouTube. Might be a bad idea, but I'm going to fucking roll it. So this is a long one. I'm going to talk. And like I said previously, I've tried to avoid current events as much as possible. However, I still get just enough to trigger my ass. Now, talking about this on YouTube, this is a test, really. I want to see what the fuck happens. So, basically, I want to talk about how fear has been monetized and weaponized to destroy your life. Now, whether or not this talk is geared towards you depends. Do you currently have things that you want to do in your life, with your life, that fear is stopping? You know, I really want to do this, but... And right now, I'm noticing this kind of... Now, I gotta be fucking careful talking about this. I could say fuck, but I can't talk about this directly. So, for those of you, you know, read into what I'm saying in regards to current events. But I'm going to try and be as fucking vague as possible. And by the way, if my video's a little glitchy, I had a new setup. One of my laptops went to shit, and it was the one I do my live streams from. So I've got the new setup going, and I'm noticing some glitchy shit with the video. Maybe I have to figure out another way to record in the future. But for now, just put up with the glitchiness. Hopefully the audio is fine. So I'm noticing that we're now spinning up the fear machine again. You know, I feel like the corporate media and the pharmaceutical industry and basically all the power-hungry people in positions of power, gotta be fucking careful still, like I said, I believe that they are feeling their grip slip. Now, before, certain sides of the aisle, you know, everything was politicized in terms of the coof and the jab and all of these things that have been politicized when it really should be about freedom, personal choice. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, you might want some fucking freedom. You might not want to give it up so easily because you're afraid. And right now, I'm feeling this push. But at the same time, I'm in New York, which is the fear capital. So like I said, I'm trying to go more off of what I see locally when I go out, when I interact with people. What are they saying? What are they doing? And there is a little bit of fear still out here, but I feel like largely the population here has let go of a lot of their fear. Not everyone. There's still people doing everything that they thought they were going to do, and now with this new guidelines coming out, oh, you can. I want to say so much, but I'm going to be good. Susan, settle down. You know, with the new things coming down the pipe, and so far as I know, there's only been one state, California, imagine that, which is jumping on board with these new things that are coming out. Here in New York, though, it does not, they seem to be just business as usual. I'm not hearing anything out of Cuomo or de Blasio. They're still pushing for you to do certain things to your body, very coercively, like $100 a pop. If you do it down in New York City, you get $100. It's great. Bribery always works, although some people are making way more money than that off of said thing. But we'll leave that between the pharmaceutical industry and the government to work all that out. I just personally am not going to be involved in that. That's me. This is so hard talking around certain things. I don't know how other YouTubers do it and stay on here and stay sane. Definitely going to be doing more uncensored shit in the future on Odysee. So check out Odysee. Anyways, one thing is certain, and I noticed this in a lot of arguments that I've had on this particular subject. We're all gonna fucking die. I don't know if you know, but throughout human history, survival of the fittest has pretty much been the norm. I know when I go out in the woods, a bear could take me out, a tree could fall on me in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping and kill me, I could get bitten by some dangerous insect, I could brush up against a plant that's deadly, I could drink some water that has some fucking flesh-eating amoeba bacteria in it. So you would think with all of those things that I wouldn't go out in the fucking woods, right? And there's some people that they're like that. They're like, no, I ain't going out. There's bugs, there's fucking bears, there's fucking psychos running around with hatchets. There's all kinds of shit in the woods that could take me. I'm not going. No, not for me. Well, that's fine if you don't want to go out into the woods. That's not what I'm suggesting. The problem comes when you start giving up. Like, say you love going out in the woods, but then, like, a news agency comes on and tells you that last week, you know, and they do this all the time, last week, 1,000 miles from where you are, a bear just ate somebody, so you better not go out in the woods. You know, this is an example. Apply this scenario to multiple things going on. You know, or, oh, a tree fell and took this other motherfucker out. You might as well stay out of the woods. Woods are dangerous. No, don't go in them woods. It's the only way to keep yourself safe and to keep everyone around you safe, because you might injure somebody else while you're out there. You see where I'm going with this? It's the logic that is taking down our society, in my opinion. And it starts with the people. It starts with us. We are enabling this. And the people that make money off of it, and I'm going to list them, the people that make money off of it know this. And they'll play that playbook because it pays their fucking bills, it makes their bank accounts larger, it puts them in big-ass houses, it puts them in vacation spots, it puts them in fucking space. They know this. And right now, they're continuing to bombard everyone with this control through fear, because fear causes you to behave a certain way, and that way that you behave is in the best interest of a whole lot of elites right now, of a whole lot of corporations, and a whole lot of people hungry for power in the government. So you're allowing them to control you through this fear. And, you know, for me, I don't trust any of it anymore. From media to government agencies to podcasters to... I am now looking at everything through the lens, if I didn't fucking see it or feel it or experience it in my life or in the lives of those I'm in direct contact with, then I cannot trust the information I'm being given. That's just me. Call me a paranoid prick. But that being said, I still have lots of things I want to do and live my life. I'm going to travel. I'm leaving Monday. I'm going on the road for a month, living in the car, in the Prius. I've got some destinations. We'll get to that when we get there. But in the meantime, you know, there was so many reasons not to, you know. But I don't care, because I want to do that. And if something bad is going to happen to me, or I'm going to catch something, or I'm going to die, or get eaten by a bear, or get mauled by a fucking mountain lion, or murdered in my sleep in the fucking parking lot at Walmart, at least it'll be on camera. You know, these are all things that could happen to me. The car could break down, I get stranded, you know. The glitchy video is really starting to get to me. You know, there's all kinds of things that could happen to me on this, but I want to go out. I want to see some places. I want to go some places. And I want to get a general feel for if this media and commentator-driven fear is really what's going on in the world. And I highly suggest, if you ever want to live your life, to do something similar within your ability to do so. But only if you want to. You know, if you like locking yourself away from the world because it's dangerous and scary place and you could die, then by all means, that's your choice. But if you are feeling miserable, depressed, and unhappy with your life, and there's things that you want to do, but they're telling you can't, things that you should legally be able to do. Now, I'm not saying do anything illegal, but they're taking your freedoms away as much as they can. And the more you let them, under the guise of being safe, you know, one thing is certain, we're all going to die. No matter what you do. No matter how many masks you put on. No matter what you put in your arm. No matter how many supplements you take. No matter what diet you're on. Whether or not you fast. Whether or not you don't fast. I've learned this lesson pretty harshly over the past year and a half. I've lost people, multiple people, that have done a lot to try and take care of themselves, to better their personal life, to do all kinds of things, and they're still gone. And it puts it in perspective for me, because I spent a lot of time focusing on health because I do not want to be in the pharmaceutical industry, but it's forced me to say that even though I'm taking all of these steps to avoid that certain outcome, it's still not a certain outcome. I could still get something that lands me smack dab on medications. Now, I'm very fortunate. I count myself... in fact, I don't think I know anybody in my age bracket right now that is on 0 medications and has 0 medical issues. That's me. I've got 0 medications. I don't even do over-the-counter shit. And I go in the doctor and he pats me on the back and says, "Good job." Now, yeah, that's probably a result of me taking better care of myself, of me not drinking, of me having a proper diet. Most of the time. I fall off the wagon a lot, so who knows? I could still end up fucked up. I have cheat meals. I'm not doing it as bad as I did through COVID, though. You know, maybe once a week I'll have a cheat. But that's me. You know, I'm addicted to shit. I've got an addictive personality, so I got to be addicted to something, or else I might go back to the booze, and I don't want to go back to the booze. You know, got my 1 to 2 drink limit. That's it. And I've been very successful with that, and I'm going to keep it that way. That being said, I still get a lot of pressure when I'm drinking water, you know. So there's that. I don't know. Some people look in the mirror of sobriety and get offended because they're not doing what you're doing. You know, that's another part of the problem with society is we all judge ourselves through the lenses of what the people around us are doing. And that brings me back to the fear topic. Right now, fear is being pushed because think about who is making money and how they're doing it off of this fear. Media companies, not just the news, mind you, but even some YouTubers, some commentators follow this formula. They sit there day after day after day pushing out, and this is I had to stop. That's one of the reasons my channel might disappear, because I'm no longer willing to constantly do that. I'm changing the direction of my my commentary, my channel in general. I'm trying to do more artistic things, more positive things, talk about lifestyle improvements, talk about my struggles with the way things are, as opposed to just saying this is fucked, that's fucked, this is fucked over here, we're all fucked, I'm depressed, I'm miserable, and coming on here. And those videos get the most play. They get the most people, you know, in the comments. They get the most interactions. But I can't keep being part of the problem. And I wish more people would wake up in these media companies. I know it's a reach for that to ever happen in corporate media. But it's also in the commentator community, it's just story after story of destruction. Like NTD News, for example. I watch NTD News periodically, not every day for sure. And they at least intersperse some culture and positive stories, which is rare for a international news organization to do. And it's one of the reasons I watch them is they put positive things in with the negative, and they seem relatively biased only towards a certain country with certain ideologies in the Far East. So, other than that, I seem to be getting more of a localish vibe, but that doesn't mean they aren't pushing some of those fear narratives. They're doing the same thing. They're monetizing your fear, your anxiety. And honestly, half the time, it's stuff that will not directly affect you. Now, don't get me wrong. There's plenty that's going to directly affect us. You look at the financial situation, the inflation, all of this crap, that the economy is fucked up. All of this stuff, yeah, it's having a direct effect. But what good is it watching it every fucking day and getting pissed off about it constantly and letting it destroy your outlook on life, how you view the world, how you interact with society? And it becomes this toxic fucking wasteland that you can get into and not get out. When I've found, as I weather this storm, I'm outpacing inflation right now. Why? Because I took steps in my personal life to research and do the things in investing I needed to do to, at the very least, keep pace or outpace with inflation. Plus, I'm a minimalist. Minimalism is a good way, being debt-free, not buying shit you don't need or use. I tend to buy shit that I make money with. I bought some music shit. You see it behind me there. Guess what? I make a little bit of money back with it. Maybe someday I'll make more money. I don't know. Depends on if I suck or not. I might continue to suck. Some say I suck now. Some say I'm getting better. Some say they like what I do. But I'm going to keep working at it until, the shit I bought pays the bills. But as far as material things, I don't generally buy anything that doesn't serve some kind of purpose for me learning a new skill or growing and so on and forth. These are all things that allow me to live and survive in this very hostile financial environment we're approaching. And I know I'm not the only one thinking this, because I just saw a story today that apparently there is a, what do they call it? I don't know. There's this thing where 40% of motherfuckers are quitting their jobs because they hate it. And I've been saying this for years to y'all. This is not a new concept. It's like I've quit trucking several times just to have more time in my life. And I do not want that time to be taken from me by fear, by people who are doing this for profit. Make no mistake, the corporate media, who is paid for, certain agencies which are paid for by the pharmaceutical industry in particular, profits a ton from your fear. You get a cold, who do you turn to? Got an ache or a pain, who do you go to? We have become such a medically dependent society that I do not know anyone in my personal life who is not on some kind of fucking medication and constantly going to the doctors. How did we get like this? How did we fall into this pit that we are in? And we continue to fall in, so much so that we are being mandated to do certain things now. And I'm not doing it. Why? I worked really hard on my personal health, and I gave up some things, and I changed some things in my life. I'm not going to be forced, and I did it specifically so I would not be part of the pharmaceutical industry. I am not going to be forced to be part of the pharmaceutical industry. And something could happen. I could die. I could get something bad. Something could happen. I break a bone, I'll probably go. Or I get an infection or something that could take me out. Then I'll say, hi, here I am. But if I get a headache, for example, I just tough it out. If I get my depressions, I work on it. I work on it within myself. I don't go and get pilled up. Now I'm not suggesting it's between you. This is your decision. This is what I'm just telling you what I do. And that's what I do. I do not want to be in that ecosystem, especially as I get older. And I know it's going to get harder because I'm going to start to fall apart. Things aren't going to work quite the way they should. And yeah, when I'm in my 60s, 70s, I no doubt am going to have these issues. And I'm aware of it. And I'll still try to stay the fuck out of the pharmaceutical industry. And I'm still going to do all the things on my own to try and increase my health. And I'm not going to and part of it is the mental health aspect of it. I'm not going to get sucked into this fear trap, this constant bombardment of negative fucking fear that is just pounding away at us. And I've met people who are a victim of this. People that have given up so many things that they love, that they want to do for such long periods of time. And meanwhile, I meet them and I have been doing the things that they have not been doing the entire time. Because I was willing to take my chances. And now it's up to you whether to buy into the fear. But I can tell you that a lot of that fear that they're putting on you is unfounded. You can do your own fucking homework on that. I'm not here to make any definitive statements. Susan, settle down. You just got to try to live your life and not let them inject these fears. See what I did there? I got to be sneaky. Not let them inject these fears into you. Because that is precisely what they continue to try to do. And I guarantee you, when this is all said and done, it's financially motivated. It is what it is. See, I think I've done it. Read it. Do your fucking homework on this stuff, people. Don't leave it to the media to do it for you. Because they're going to do it for the corporations. Keep in mind, mainstream media works for them, not you. Now, granted, they rely on you watching it. And that's one of the reasons they keep pushing. Because I guess people just love fucking watching negative shit and getting pissed off nowadays. I think we've been trained that way through social media over the past 20 years. 10 years or something like that. And the media has just, I feel like the media is it's a death rattle right now. They're starting to realize a lot of people, they fucked a lot of people over. Now a lot of people don't trust them. So they're pulling back and going, well, whatever, and they're plugging their ears and they're turning off their fucking TV and they're going out and living their life. And the more people I see do that, the more hope I have for the world. And I see a lot of people doing that here in New York who previously were not. But, as I've predicted, we are seeing a push to bring back a lot of these things that we're finally getting out of. We're seeing certain things that they told us would fix everything. And they're still telling us that in some places. But you're starting to see the little cracks in it. They're telling you that isn't good enough anymore. No. It's not good enough. You have to go back to doing these other things that we, said you wouldn't have to do if you did this thing. And so, yeah. So do it. Because science. We got studies that we're apparently not sharing with anybody yet because they're not published. But still, we got science that says you need to do this shit. And I guarantee you, as the winter comes and certain seasons happen, and I guarantee you this is going to be a season, they're going to push to do all of this over again. All the shit we've done the last 2 years, it's coming back. So it's one of the reasons I'm feeling fortunate I'm going out right now this month, August, to experience freedom while it's there, because I have this sneaking suspicion that it's not all going to stay that way. But that's that fear creeping in. And why do I have that fear? because I see them doing it. And I see them already working towards that. The media is already pushing that narrative in that direction. And some government agencies are climbing aboard. And I feel like it's all financially motivated. And we're going to be probably back to square one come January. Just saying. We'll see how it plays out. I hope I'm wrong on that. But in the meantime, I'm going to live my life the best I can. I'm going to try not to immerse myself in the constant thing. I'm going to keep you got to keep an eye on it. I mean, every once in a while you got to check in. But the great thing about it is they're running these things over and over again. Like there's media companies that'll talk about a certain topic that we were all familiar with right now. They'll run 3 or 4 fucking stories on it. 3 to 4 stories on the same topic to get you to do what they want you to do. Call me crazy, but if that isn't financially motivated, I don't know what the fuck is. Because never forget who pays the bills for these media companies. Who pays the YouTuber bills? You know, that's the thing. Don't forget where ad revenue comes from, people. And don't forget all of the censorship and crap that's happened here on YouTube. I haven't forgot it. I'm sitting here censoring the shit out of myself right now just so I could give you guys a video on YouTube. Don't get too used to it here on YouTube because I like going to Odysee and fucking venting without having to self-censor. And this was an experiment to see if I could do it. And I'd say it fucking failed because it's driving me nuts. And my video's glitchy. But still, my advice, go out. Talk to your doctor. Hopefully you got a good one. But I'll leave that for you to figure out. Work out your medical shit with your doctor. But do your homework. Learn. Why do you feel like shit? Why are you afraid of all of these things? Why can't you do these things? Open your eyes. Do not be lazy and just sit there and watch the news and then vent about it, whether you're on one side or the other of the bullshit narratives. Clearly what side I'm on. No matter what, don't just take it at face value anymore. You can't. You got to be your own fact checker. Because, you know, the Zuck and Susan, well, they're doing a good job. And Dorsey, don't forget that motherfucker, of checking everything. The only person who can really do their own homework is you. And if you let someone else do your homework for you, you're going to get whatever agenda that someone else has. That's going to influence the homework that's done, the things that are looked at. Listen to even the things you don't agree with. Go out. That way you're at least aware, and you can have a conversation about these things, something that we're no longer allowed to do in mainstream public spaces. We got to go to the dark corners of the internet and Odysee and the blockchain to have these fucking discussions nowadays. But here, every time you talk, you know, I've got people I'm back on Facebook and Instagram, and I've seen people go to Facebook jail for stupid shit. All I'm posting on those platforms is my art, my music. I'm no longer spewing my thoughts out onto those platforms. I'm no longer sharing everything. I still do it here on YouTube to a degree, but you see what I'm going through here. You see the struggle. This is why I'm on fucking Odysee, people. This is why I do these uncensored things. And I haven't done one in a while. Been very busy prepping for this trip. And I'm also been very busy doing creative things. You know, and I don't want to do as many of the current events topics. I don't want to be the YouTuber who profits from that. I don't want to be the constant fearmonger, anger, rage-baiting motherfucker that I see so many people doing. And I've unsubscribed to quite a few. I unsubbed Tim Pool. I unsubbed the Quartering. I still see them because the fucking algorithm just doesn't let up with them, which is interesting. They often say the other things. And I still see them poking in my feeds on Odysee, so I figure that's good enough. That way it's not in my face every fucking video, every second. But I still could occasionally watch them if I choose to be triggered and have my little fear things stoked. But since those commentators and many others have become so fucking repetitive and formulaic, I don't feel the need to constantly watch their content anymore. And I hope they change. And I'll check in from time to time to see if they're doing a better job. But right now, they're, in my eyes, not doing any better than NBC, CNN, Fox News, and even NTD News, all of which make money off of your fear. If you let fear control your life, you lose everything. You lose your freedom. You lose relationships. You lose friends because their fears might not be the same fears that you have. And then you guys fight about it. And the next thing you know, you're like, fuck you, or no, fuck you. And then you guys fucking wipe each other out of your lives. And you don't have anything to do with each other, or worse. Or, even worse, you let fear cause you to want to stop living, literally. And then, who wins on that? Certain people still made their money. They still made their money, and you paid the price for it. Don't pay that price anymore. Listen, we're all going to die. We're all going to get old and die. Or we could die tomorrow, or we could get hit by a car. We could, there's a million ways in the world. And even if you stayed in your house, look at this thing in Florida. Even if you stayed in your house, that shit could collapse on you. Or a tornado, or a flood, or a hurricane. All of these things can take you out at any moment. And if you live your life in constant fear of that, you won't be living your life. You'll be hiding, you'll be nervous, you'll have anxiety through the roof, and you won't do the things that would bring you fulfillment, that would bring you happiness, that would bring you joy. And if you feel like that's the situation you're in, then you need to change your exposure level to the fear. Now, I'm not saying ignore it entirely, but you don't need to do it in the level that we're at, where we're constantly updated up to the second on something that happened tens of thousands of miles away from you, which you have absolutely zero influence over, zero control over. All you can do is be angry about it. And that is not productive, all right? That does not help you have a better life. That ruins your life. If you're going to let every bad event that happens in the world, literally in the world, cause you to live in fear and change your life and to alter the things that were fulfilling to you to the point where you do not get any fulfillment or joy out of life because bad things happen, then you're never going to live your life, because bad things constantly happen. Throughout history, this has been demonstrated over and over again. Somewhere in the world, somebody's dying right now. Somewhere in the world, somebody's suffering. Somewhere in the world, people are oppressed. Somewhere in the world, people are having their freedoms taken away. Somewhere in the world, someone's getting censored. Somewhere in the world, all of these things that you get angry about, it's happening right now in real time. And if you open yourself up to every bad thing that happens in this fucking world, you're going to become very nihilistic, very fearful, very angry. There's no positive emotions. You're not going to save yourself from these bad things that are happening to other people in other places or to you. There's bad things happening around you. There's bad things happening to people around you. And yes, those directly affect you, and they should, and they do. And you should take heed of the bad things that you personally have a say in, that you are involved in, that affect your circle. But when someone hundreds of thousands of miles away that you don't know is going through these things, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. You can be like, well, that sucks. And you can have some empathy for them. But if you just bombard yourself with every bad thing, and it's very easy to do with social media, all of these things, it's very easy to get upset about an injustice that's happening somewhere in the world because they're constantly happening. And all you can do to stop injustice is to focus on your environment, your local environment, your people around you, and prevent injustices in that realm. But getting outraged for an injustice that happened thousands of miles from you, that you have no say in, that there's nothing you can do in, is a waste of your time and resources. And you're not going to fix it at the ballot box. Like I've said before, you're going to fix it with how you live your life, your lifestyle, where you spend your money, and where you spend your time. So, and I believe the Great Resignation, see, I remembered it. The Great Resignation is evidence that there are people waking up to this, that they have these unfulfilled lives, that they're deciding to quit their job because they've been mistreated for years by the big corporations, and now we're seeing that. You know, first we saw this whole we don't want to go back to work shit. Now we're seeing people that have been working that are like, well, I don't want to fucking work because I know there's a better way because you all made me take all this fucking time off from work for a year, so now I want to go back to that. And as someone who's kind of in that boat, I can tell you they're not wrong. We're going to have to change how we do things, people, whether we like it or not. And it means we're not going to be able to buy all the shit that we normally buy. So I hope you've learned some minimalist principles in your life. Well, that's it for this fucking video. It's a short one. Look at that. This is the shortest fucking podcast. 36 minutes. It's because I had to censor myself and I couldn't flow the way I normally do. Otherwise, it'd have been an hour and a half to 2 hours. You know, what the fuck do I know? I am not an expert. Everything that you just heard, Susan, everything that you just heard is my fucking opinion. You should not form your opinion based on my opinion. You should form your opinion based on your personal experience, your environment, and the things that you see with your own fucking eyes, and the things that you choose to learn about. You should not base it off the opinion of me, of some commentator, of some politician, of some political group, of some group. Or, you know, even the opinions of everyone around you. A lot of people just want to be part of the herd. Don't be part of the herd. The herd's not doing well right now. I don't know if you looked around. The herd hasn't been doing too good. So maybe you need to step out of the herd a little bit and maybe be kind of the leader of the herd and say, hey, there's another way to not have this shitty fucking life. You know, that's my opinion. But I don't know. Tell me what you think in the fucking comments. Let me know. Share this fucking video. Like it. Spread it out. You know somebody who's paralyzed by fear? Put it out there. They'll come and they'll send me some hate comments and talk about how I'm in a bathrobe fucking doing it. I don't know. They'll say something fucked up. But at least the conversation. At least that they've heard the opinion. And it caused them to think about things. Whether they agree or disagree. Live your life. You only get one. You only get a certain amount of time, and you have absolutely no say in how much time that is. No matter how many precautions you take, no matter how much you lock yourself away from all of these bad things that could fucking hurt you. You know, and one more thing, also look at, you know, a way, because I see this all the time. I see people that are they have so much vitriol and anger and upsetness over some things, more recent events. Meanwhile, they've completely ignored the number one fucking thing that takes us out, heart disease. Yeah, we're not doing anything about that. Not doing anything about cancer, really. Diabetes, definitely didn't do shit about that. In fact, that's affecting someone in my circle, my mother. You know, there's all of these things that take out just as many, if not more, than certain other things. Censorship sucks, by the way. This is fucking bullshit. I fucking hate censorship. Anyways, you know, there's a lot of things that we seem to be focused on right now, and we're ignoring all of that. Why? That's very, very lucrative for certain industries, those things. Ironically, the thing they're telling you to be afraid of, also very lucrative for you to be afraid of. But you do you. So, please like and subscribe for more shit. And I'll make more shit. And if you want me to be able to continue to make more shit, and not have to go back in the truck or do all these other things, please head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com and leave a tip in the virtual tip jar, or through PayPal, or through, I don't think I've put, yeah, actually I did. I updated the Bitcoin address on there, so you can use crypto if that's your thing. Also, for uncensored shit, which there will be more, just not very often, like I said, I don't want to be that guy. Head to Odysee. Follow me there. Link is down below. Also, you can sign up for my free email list if you want to know when I choose to go live, and there will be live streams coming. I've got my setup right now. You know, like if we look, I've got this little switcher here, and it works pretty good. Oh, works pretty good. You know, I can do picture in a picture, and yeah, it's fucking cool. Yeah, that's the thing that's probably been glitching the whole fucking time, because I noticed it a few times. So I'm sorry. Don't even bother telling me in the comments. I'm on it. I'll have to figure it out why it's doing it. But as far as being able to switch, I can switch between multiple cameras. There'll be some live looping music stuff coming when I get back off the road, but primarily my content is hitting the road for the month of August. I will do the best I can. Keep in mind, I have a mobile signal, so I might only be able to put out one video a week at best, and maybe a live stream with my phone. I am going to live stream on YouTube for the less controversial things, but much like now, I'm going to be limited in what I can address with you guys in the chat and what I'm going to talk about. But what I'm mainly going to be doing is sharing this journey to get out into the world, to see a lot of the things that I love to see, to get out into some national parks, because I have a free national park pass till fucking next year from being prior military, which, by the way, you can get, I think. I don't know. I got it when I was in Florida before, and I just realized I still have it, and it's good till next February. So I'm going to hit as many national parks as I can, assuming there aren't some fear-based rules that keep me from doing so. If that's the case, plan B is to go to out-of-the-way places, you know, wherever I can go. But I'll keep you posted on all of that. So stay tuned to this channel. There will be some living in a Prius vlogs for the next month. And it's the longest period I'll have spent in the Prius. I've clearly spent time living in vehicles because of being a trucker for so many years. But this will be the longest span in the smallest vehicle possible, pretty much. So who knows? I might get sick of it after a week or two and say, fuck it. But I'm shooting for a month. As for the collaboration, I haven't heard back. So that's probably not going to happen based on some things I've seen. So I'm just rolling with my original plans, which is to go and see a lot of the things that I really didn't get to take time at when I was trucking. And with this, I could spend a week at Yellowstone. I could spend a week, you know, at Moab if it's not too hot or something. You know, there's things I want to see, and I'm going to try and see them. And who knows, I might see something along the way and stop for a while and chill. We'll figure it out. I'm going to do my homework as I go. I don't have a set route yet, but we'll see. Anything can happen. It's what happens when you set out on the road. So I hope you guys stick around for that. And I'll also do some live streams during that, because that'll be a lot easier than posting a video sometimes. So there's that. I'll be making music and working on my art, my photography, my 3D graphics. I might even bring the drone. I'm debating the drone. But it's going to be an exploration in living a nomadic life, doing all the things I like to do, and I you know, it's a good baseline sample. I can't go full time. I have too many things obligating me here in New York. Plus, I'm dating again. I am seeing someone. It's early stages, so I promise nothing. But you know, I have a reason to come back, so I can't just stay out indefinitely. As much tempting as that could be sometimes, because I am a nomad at heart. I mean, I've been 15 years in the truck, so it's hard to acclimate to being in one place for very long periods of time. But I did, like I said in the previous video, I need to reset all of this shit. So, yeah, look at that. I ran my mouth for 15 more minutes trying to end the video. It's good days, right? All right. Don't live in fear. Live your life in a fulfilling way. And materialistic things are not the way to be fulfilled, much as you may think. It's all about time and how you spend it. And if you spend your time miserable and in fear, that's a shitty life. And I, for one, I don't want to live that life anymore. So I've been doing very good at stepping outside that box. And I really hope that some of you can, be helped by that example. As someone who got sucked in, just like a lot of you, into this shit. Pull out of it. Take long breaks from it. It'll be there when you come back. And the narrative doesn't change very quickly. They pound away at these narratives. So once you get your good sample of it and you're good and pissed off and scared, take a long break. And that'll lower your fear. That's my theory on it. And I'm practicing it. And I'm trying it. And I'll let you know how it goes. Have a nice motherfucking day. And shit. And also, before I go, one last little this video is brought to you by my music album, The Middle Life. You can purchase it at ScottTheTruckDriver.com, link down below. It's also on Spotify and Apple Music, iTunes, whatever the fuck that is. I don't know. I'm not a big Apple guy, but it's there. I don't know if it's supposed to be on a bunch of other platforms, but I honestly have no fucking idea. I went through DistroKid, so it goes out to who knows where, and then in a few months I'll find out how it did. So that's that. But if you want to help the channel directly and you like my music and you want something in return, you can purchase the album, The Middle Life, on ScottTheTruckDriver.com in the store. And I am looking at some more art, digital art, stock photos, that kind of stuff in the future, that give you something digitally in return for your support of this channel. So, or maybe you just like the stuff and you want it. So there's that too. Maybe you hate my commentary, but you like my music. So, or something. Have a nice motherfucking day again. And shit. Now I'm going to end the fucking video. The glitchy ass fucking piece of shit fucking video that was glitching. I saw it in the corner of my eye and I'm like, fuck, there's a glitch. Fuck, there's a glitch. Fuck.